Hey guys, welcome to another episode of Drax Corner. Today we will be featuring Night's Watch Banner of the Kraken versus Targaryen Banner of the Lion. I'm playing the Night's Watch deck, of course. Now this is a false banner deck with a false banner of the Kraken. As discussed on the latest episode of the White Book Podcast, go check that out at whitebookpodcast.com if you haven't already. Essentially, the idea is that you include more characters of the banner house, well, not characters, more cards of the banner house than of the primary house. So in this particular instance, I've got the draw coming from Night's Watch, as well as a couple of strong military power guys, Benjen for a little bit of power gain, and Amiga contribution for a little bit of choke on economy help. There's no noble cause in the deck, because the only lords and ladies are Asher and Theon, who are relatively cheap, and they are they are the most expensive characters in the deck. So I've got Asher, two reducer guys, one Greyjoy and one Night's Watch, and a Rose Road. He's got Khal Drogo, a reducer, and a King's Road. And I choose to go with Filthy Accusations here because I know that he's planning on doing 2 military challenges with that Khal Drogo. I can at least take one of them out. And he flips Winds of Winter, which is a 3-4-2, so 2-claim plot there. If he gets off 2-claim military challenges against me, then I'm going to be in a rough spot. But I've got some decent military cards in my hand. He chooses to go first, which is great for me. Means he's only got 3 gold from his plot, and I can steal 1 with Amiga contribution, which I'll go ahead and do. I'm just waiting for him to count gold. He's his reducer first, so I decided to play it, just to make sure I get that gold in. So he'll only have 2 gold to spend, plus that King's Road means he's not getting out any 6-cost characters. He could play a 6-cost Targaryen, but he's already got that guy. He can't play a 6-cost Lannister guy. He could still play Tyrion. He says well played in chat, so I'm guessing it is in fact Jaime. Or he just wants to play 2 3-cost guys, to Unsullied or something along those lines. So he uses the reducer to get out another reducer. It's always good for a bit of claim soak if you think you're going to be losing a military challenge. And since he's going first with the 2 claim, I can almost definitely get 1 back on him. Especially since Asher has stealth. So what he might be looking to do is get 2 characters with the military icon out, just so he can still at least put that pressure down. He should sort of know from my deck, from my faction and banner, that I'm going to have military guys. I'm not going to have a strong intrigue presence from either of those houses. And he plays a Braided Warrior for 2. And he sacks a King's Road for a Tickler, who only costs 2 as well, so he's actually had to waste 1 of the economy from that King's Road, just to make sure that he actually has some characters to make challenges with that 2 claim. So it's my turn to marshal. I'm counting 6 gold because I stole 1 from him, and I've got 4 from the plot plus 1 from the Rose Road. I have a reducer which I'm just going to use to get out another reducer. Again, this time it is purely for claim soak. I'm most likely, if he wants to do 2 military challenges, I'm most likely going to have to let one of them go through so I can still attack back with Asher. And I'm kind of planning on letting them both go through or defending with Asher. Probably because I've got that 2 gold left and I put to the sword in my hand, which is pretty juicy with Khal Drogo kneeling. So the only way he can stop this... Well, there's no way he can stop this. especially since he does an intrigue challenge. Okay, this is one way he could stop it, is if he intrigues it out of my hand. I can't possibly win the intrigue challenge. Even if I played that second intrigue guy, I still wouldn't have been able to, so I kept him in my hand as intrigue claim soak. I do have to discard 2 cards here, which is pretty brutal, and it gets my ranging party and Benjen, and I've still got that put to the sword there, which is all I really care about. If I draw any of the Night's Watch cards in this deck that haven't already been discarded or used, then I should get some drawback out of that. And he's got a decently low reserve. We're going to get an intrigue off. He passes on challenges. He did a military with the Rated Warriors. I blocked it with Asher because I know I can still get 5 strength through on a military with the ranging party. I do an intrigue, which will be unopposed. I get a Fire and Blood out of it, which is great because he could shuffle Khal Drogo back into his deck with that after I kill him. I do a power challenge, it's also unopposed. That brings me up to 3 and him down to 0. He chooses Targaryen Loyalist for military claim, but I spend my gold on the put to the sword before he can do that. Anyway, so it's essentially like having 2 claim. The challenge is unopposed, so I get another power, bringing me up to 4, and a pretty decent looking board. And he will go ahead and win dominance with the 1 gold that he had left over. Unless he's got another Fire and Blood in his hand and wants to spend it. So I've got only 3 cards left in hand, and none of them are particularly useful, but I already have the board advantage, I believe. Now that Khal's dead, I only have to worry about 1 military challenge, and I've got claim soak for that. I'm considering marching, especially since there's a chance he might wildfire, and instead he plays Call in the Banners, so still, if I go first, I get to choose March to the Wall to go first, and that at least gives him 1 less gold, in case he was planning on playing Daenerys. Oh no, he still can play Daenerys. Still, slightly less gold. And I don't draw into any characters here. I've got 5 gold and 2 reducers still left. I marched the Greyjoy reducer just so I'd have 1 of each in case I needed either. I just play out Steward at the Wall for another intrigue icon. Means I can defend 1 and still attack, depending on what he plays. I attach a Throwing Axe to Asher, so it's even less likely she will be unopposed. No, she will be opposed in a challenge. And I've got the Iron Throne down, which will help me win dominance for that steady power gain. And it's important that he won dominance last turn, so that he at least has a power. You always want your opponent to have at least 1 power, so you can steal it. Unless you're playing Night's Watch, then you just don't let them get any unopposed. You don't need to steal their power. Alright, so he plays down Jaime. He's sitting on 1 gold. So Jaime must have been what he wanted to play in that first turn, which might have... Yeah, I would have had to kill off 4 guys. I could have defended 1 of them. No, I don't know, would have had 4. Oh, I don't know. But either way, I'm going first, so I choose to do an intrigue with both of them rather than try and defend 1. This is because I don't want him to win it with the Tickler. I want him to win it with Jaime if possible, as Jaime doesn't kneel to do a military challenge. And he discards a Treachery there, which I'm pretty happy about considering he has a gold. He could use Treachery to stop Asher from standing, or to cancel the Throwing Axe from killing Jaime or someone else. I do a power with the reducer guy. I can't remember what those guys are called. And that's unopposed as he has no power icons, so that brings me up to 7 power and him back down to none. Thinking about what challenge to do next. there is only one challenge to do. I'm definitely doing a mill here, and I'm probably gonna stealth, not Jamie. The reason why is if he defends with the Braided Warrior, I get to kill off the Braided Warrior, and then he'll have to kill off the Tickler for claim. If he lets it go unopposed, he can just kill the Braided Warrior, and Asher will stand. But if he wants to win it, he's going to have to use Jamie. Which will net him 1 renown, but it'll mean that... Okay, for some reason he blocks with both Jamie and the Braided Warrior. And claims a power for renown. Challenges go to him. He's kind of rushing a bit through this game. Normally I'm the fast player and I'm getting impatient with people, but he's just like straight on it. Does an intrigue challenge. I let it go unopposed, discard one of the 2 hands judgment in my hand, and I win dominance, bringing me up to 8 and him on 2. So I think it's time to turn on the heat here. Get some 2 claim challenges. I win initiative, so I'm going to choose to go first with that 2 claim. He flips a noble cause, which at this point has to mean Tyrion or Dany. Or Joffrey, I guess. I don't draw up into anything that really costs gold, which is fine because I'm playing my lowest gold plot. I do get a little bird to protect Asher from tears, and maybe let her get another unopposed challenge through, and I get an Iron Fleet Scout, which could be important in boosting Asher's strength, so she can actually match Jamie there. And he just straight up uses all of his gold for Daenerys Targaryen. And now it's my challenges. So he doesn't have any gold left, he's not running fealty, there's no fear of a Dracarys, which is one of Asher's greatest fears. I most likely just want to put him in a difficult situation here. So I do an intrigue challenge, stealth in over the Tickler, so I can buff her to 6 with the Iron Fleet Scout, so he'll have to block with both if he doesn't, or if he wants to defend, which he does do. So I say fine, you win the challenge, I've got no actions. Go ahead and get your card. So I don't have my stealth anymore, but I do get an unopposed power challenge through, and I can just win a military with 2 claim. So that's all of his guys kneel in, get my power through, unopposed, brings me up to 10. And with the Iron Throne and my stewards at the wall, I've got 10 strength for dominance, which will bring me up to 11, and he's just got that 1 renown on Jamie. So this is looking like March to the Wall. I've already played, so Filthy Accusations. Kneel out one of his 2 big guys, I only have to deal with 1 who I can stealth past. He does Wildfire, so I'll kill off. I choose to kill off the Steward at the Wall because I probably have Greyjoy Reducer locations in this deck and not Night's Watch ones, because there aren't any Night's Watch ones. I did draw a character this time. He plays Rhaegal and a duplicate, which I guess is the reason that Dany is the one kneeling rather than Jamie. Jamie can get off 2 challenges normally, especially when you're going first, but if you kneel out Dany, she won't get the stand, and she's got insight, which could help him come back into the game. And I've got plenty of military strength to defend, also got a guy I can happily kill off. So here it's like, I can let it go unopposed, he gets a power, for me to steal. But I can just let the intrigue go unopposed anyway. So rather than kill off my little intrigue guy, kill off Blackwind's crew, who I just played. Now he does an intrigue with Jamie, so he's kind of baiting a Dracarys here. I want him to get the power, so I let it go unopposed, which would discard my hand's judgment. He adds his unopposed power. I kind of did all this in the wrong order here, so he uses Tears of Bliss. I say that happens before claim. Sorry that my last card is an answer to your one plan. Goodbye. So he passes the turn there. And now I can get unopposed everything through, which will bring me up to 15 power, and that's the end of the game. Thanks for watching.